In a world where many businesses sit on the edge of decline or transformation, turnaround projects are more than just rescue missions. They're opportunities to rebuild stronger, leaner, and more future-ready. These aren't companies waving the white flag. They're waving down opportunity, and that's exciting. But here's the catch. Even the best strategies, the most innovative plans, they all need fuel. Without smart financing, even the best strategies can stall. That's what we're diving into today. The innovative financing strategies that are unlocking potential in turnaround situations. Look, I've seen countless businesses struggle because their debt repayments are killing their cash flow, especially in a turnaround situation. Revenue-based financing offers a lifeline. Instead of fixed repayments, you tie repayments to actual revenue. So when the business is flying high, repayments increase proportionally. When times are tough, repayments adjust downwards, easing the pressure. This approach aligns investor interest with business performance, creating a win-win. Investors get a stake in the upside, and the business gets breathing room to execute its turnaround strategy. It's about shared success, and that's smart business. Now, let's talk about aligning incentives with investors. Convertible recovery instruments do just that. They combine the upside potential of equity with the protections of debt. Investors get convertible notes that transform into equity if the turnaround is successful. This means they're right there with you, incentivized to see the business thrive. It's not just about the money, it's about the partnership. Turnaround leaders remember this. When investors see their own success tied to yours, they become more than just financiers, they become your champions. The world is changing. Investors aren't just looking at the bottom line anymore. They're looking at the impact. ESG-linked financing taps into this growing pool of capital by integrating environmental, social, and governance metrics into the turnaround plan. Think about it. Reducing waste, improving labor practices, boosting energy efficiency. These aren't just good for the planet, they're good for business. By showcasing these ESG commitments, turnaround companies can attract capital from ESG-focused funds, unlocking a new avenue of funding. Chapter 4. Distressed asset funds. More than just money, it's muscle. Here's the thing about traditional distressed asset funds. They often swoop in, grab assets on the cheap, and that's it. But a new breed of funds is emerging, and these guys are different. They don't just bring money, they bring operational expertise. It's like having a SWAT team of turnaround specialists parachuting in alongside the capital. They roll up their sleeves, work alongside management, and provide hands-on support to navigate the complexities of a turnaround. Financing becomes a toolkit capital plus capability. That's a powerful combination. Chapter 5. Digital twin-driven risk modeling, taking the guesswork out of turnarounds. In the Shark Tank, I'm always looking for data-driven pitches. Digital twin technology is a game changer for turnaround financing. Think of it as creating a virtual replica of the business, allowing you to model different scenarios and stress test your turnaround strategy. This data-driven approach gives financiers the confidence they crave. It de-risks the investment by providing a clear, data-backed roadmap for recovery. And let's be honest, when you can show investors a clear path to profitability, they're much more likely to open their wallets. Chapter 6. Community-backed financing, tapping into local power. For local businesses, community support can be the ultimate turnaround ingredient. Crowdfunding, local bond issuances, and even equity co-ops can turn a community into stakeholders. People invest in what they believe in. When a community rallies behind a local business, it creates not just financial buy-in, but emotional buy-in. It's about shared ownership, shared pride, and a shared commitment to seeing the business succeed. Never underestimate the power of community. Outro, the turnaround launchpad. The best financing for turnarounds isn't just capital, it's confidence. Funders want clarity, upside, and control. Turnaround leaders must learn to tell the story not just of recovery, but of reinvention. Remember, a turnaround isn't a sign of defeat, it's a strategic pivot. Let's stop viewing turnarounds as distress signals. They're launchpads, opportunities to rebuild, reimagine, and reignite. Now, I want to hear from you. What unconventional financing strategies have you seen work in turnaround scenarios? Let's discuss. #project finance, #turnaround, #private equity, #ESG finance, #innovation, #business, transformation, #revenue. base financing, digital finance.